This is Kathleen with Kal-Ven Tag and Title Service located at 7000 Bel Road, Baltimore, Maryland. Zip code is 21206. Our phone number is 410-668-6000. Hours are Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday is 12 to 7. Website is www.kalventagtitle.com. Today I want to talk about the things to look for when buying from an individual. That's like an individual buying a car from another individual. When you're buying a car from an individual, make sure you see the title. If the person doesn't have the title, then there's no sale. If they don't have the title, you tell them to go and apply for a duplicate title, and once they receive the title, then they should be able to sign the title over to you. So the video I'm going to make here, the video I'm making here is to assume the seller has got the title. Okay, so when you're buying a vehicle from an individual, you make sure they have the title. Like I said, if the title is there, ID them to make sure they are the right person. The person's name on that title is the person that is before you. And how do you know? You check on the front of the title where it says where the printed name is. Have them present to their ID to make sure you're buying from the rightful owner. Because if it's a third-party sale, it's gonna be a problem, which is not what I'm talking about here, but I will emphasize on that later. But make sure the person standing before you is the person's name that is printed on the title. Make sure you see the ID, make sure the name printed on the front of the title has got the same name on the person's driver's license. Check to make sure there is no lien or liens on the vehicle. A Maryland title, if let's say there was a lien, you see where it says liens, it's gonna have the lien holder information here. It's gonna say Westlake or any financial institution. It might say Bank of America, West Fargo. Yeah, there's so many of them. Make sure it's clean and clear. You see how this is clean and clear? Yes, this is a clean, clear title. Yeah, it's a clean, clear title. Let me use this one because this is Savage. Okay. Yeah, this is a clean, clear title here in the state of Maryland. You see here, we don't have any announcements. And then brand here says actual. Brand says actual on this title. Make sure you look at the brand up here. Next to the odometer, you will say brand. If the brand says A, actual, that's the original mileage. If it has a C there, that means it's not the actual mileage. And if it has a B, that means it exceeds the mechanical mechanical limit on the vehicle, meaning the mileage is over, I believe, 200,000 miles. Like it's over, yeah, beyond, like it has a lot of miles. That's what that means. And also, when if the actual mileage is good, if it has B or C, make sure they check on the back of the title. On the back of the title here, that says it exceeds mechanical limit and it's not the actual mileage. Make sure it's checked by the seller, whoever is selling to you. Sometimes they don't give you this information. Sometimes it might not be the actual mileage. Some people will play with the odometer, reduce the mileage to sell it for a higher price, which is fraud here in America. So in that situation, I will get to that later, but I don't want to emphasize more on that. So the point I'm making here, the first one I said, make sure they have the title. And if they do have the title, make sure the person standing before you is this person here. Check the ID to make sure it's the person. The next one is lien or liens. Make sure there's no institution name here. If there's no institution name, you don't worry about it. If you see like Bank of America, then you should be asking that person the lien release. If they don't have the lien release, they cannot make the sale. If they don't have it, how do they go about it? If they're claiming that they finished paying on that vehicle, we need for them to contact whoever they were paying to send them what's called a lien release or a satisfactory letter. If they send, you don't buy that vehicle if they don't have the lien release. If there's a lien here, ask for the lien release. Some of them will have it. It might look like a Maryland title like this, but it will be all pink. And it will say this is not the title. That's a lien release here in the state of Maryland. And another one will be a letterhead, which I don't want to emphasize more on this because it's not what we're talking about here. So if this is clean and clear, then you don't, yeah, you proceed with the sale. And also, if the vehicle is 7 years or newer, you're gonna be needing a notarized bill of sale from this person that is selling to you. Tell them to go to MVA website, nva.maryland.gov, download VR181. VR181 is Maryland bill of sale. It's a standard Maryland bill of sale. Have them fill it out, go before a notary public and get that price. They're selling that vehicle to you, notarized. If it's not notarized, we're going to, if you come to me or go to anywhere, they're gonna use their NADA guides valuation. You know, we use that to find out what the vehicle is worth, and then we'll tax you 6% of that price. So make sure you collect a notarized bill of sale if the vehicle is 7 years or newer, okay? If it's 7 years or older, you don't have to worry about bill of sale, but you collect a bill of sale from that person. Make sure the vehicle information is there. Do you know why you have to collect a bill of sale? If for some reason you misplace that title, yes, because we also advise you when you buy a vehicle to put that vehicle in your name right away. Some people hold on to the title, probably they have insurance violation and it's taking too long. If you have insurance violation, just make sure you put the title, do title only, and then put that title in your name, so that way you don't misplace it. Because if you misplace it and it's still under the previous owner's name, you have to contact the person. So that's when you'll be needing the bill of sale. So if you have that bill of sale, make sure the vehicle information is on that bill of sale. Have the seller sign, put the date of sale, and then collect the address if possible. Yeah, the address is gonna be on the front of the title. If possible, collect the person's driver's license. Why do you collect the person's driver's license? In case maybe they sell you a stolen vehicle or a vehicle that has been cloned. I don't want to talk about all that, but you know, you collect a bill of sale to protect you. Make sure their signature is there, their name is there, and make sure the person is selling to you is the same person on the front of the title. So that's about for liens. And then for a lien, okay, I think I've finished the liens, and then I've talked about notarized bill of sale. Notarized bill of sale, when the vehicle is 7 years or newer, you get it notarized. Don't have them just notarize the price. Make sure they download VR181. If you download the VR181, it will have all the sections, you know, where you put the vehicle information. We need the make, model, VIN number of that vehicle. That way we know you're talking about that same vehicle. Some people just you know, put a price and then notarize. That notary is not valid for me. If you bring it to me, it must have that vehicle information on it. So get a notarized bill of sale if it's 7 years or newer. And also if it's older, that way in case you misplace the title, you have the bill of sale to take to MVA to explain the situation to MVA. If you have the bill of sale, MVA will listen to you. Make sure it's not salvage. When you're buying a vehicle, you look on the title. This is a Maryland Savage. If you look on here, you see it says SR. It will say SR, or it might say rebuilt Savage. Up here, it might have flood. Some of them, yeah, you have to pay attention to the title. Yeah, so you look on here, if it says Savage, that means the book value is very low. Make sure they're not selling that vehicle to you on you know, on a high price, you know, like they're selling that vehicle like the original book value or what the vehicle is worth. You should be getting that vehicle for like less, maybe minus 25%, minus 75. If it's repair salvage, you'll be getting minus 75% off of the original book value. If it's salvage, regular salvage, you should be getting probably 15 to minus 15 to 50% off of that vehicle or whatever that vehicle is worth. So make sure you're getting a good deal. That's the only way you go. You buy the salvage. If it's salvage, you ask the seller, why didn't you tell me salvage? Some of them will not tell you. They will sell it to you just like the original, you know, a vehicle that's got the full book value. That's why I make these videos. That way you guys will watch them and then see what to look for when you're going to buy a vehicle. So when you see this rebuilt salvage, make sure you let the person know that this vehicle is worth less of what they're claiming. If it's not a good deal, don't buy it, because if this vehicle gets into an accident, you won't be getting that much. So I will not advise you to buy it unless you're getting a good deal, and make sure the person discloses the status of this title, because some of them will not tell you. So if you see the Savage, you question the seller, why are you selling me Savage? And then why didn't you tell me it was Savage? And then from there you can negotiate on the price. If you're not getting a good deal, I will not encourage you to buy it. Check the odometer. Odometer right here, the mileage on the title. Make sure the mileage on this title is higher than what they're declaring on the back of the title. Sometimes you get a title that's got let me say, that's got a 178. This one has got 178, and then you see them putting like 69,000 on the back of it. That's odometer discrepancy. If the mileage is lower than what's already been declared a motor vehicle, the system will not allow it. So you let them know that this is not the actual. You tell them to check the back of it where it says this is not the actual mileage, and find out what happened to the vehicle. Why is the mileage lower than what's on the front of the title? You question that and find out. Some of them will tell you, oh, the odometer, the cluster wasn't working, so I had to change it. Or some of them, if they're selling you a vehicle, they must tell you that this is a true mileage or none. If they don't know the mileage, then they have to, yes, because if it's not higher than what's declared on this bill of on this title, then it's odometer discrepancy. They have to check it's not the actual mileage. Let them be liable. Let them check it, especially when the vehicle is if it's less than 10 years. Then it's gonna be a crime. Yeah, some states, you know, we say after 10 years they don't care about the mileage, and then some states like Georgia, after 10 years they don't clear, they put exempt, and then whatever people declare the mileage is not their problem. But some states, it might not be the case. It might be anytime that mileage is lower, there's a problem. So if you buy a vehicle and the mileage on the title is higher, okay, yeah, on the front of the title is higher than what's declared on the back of the title, is good. But if the mileage that is on the back of the title, like the person has signed and I put the mileage, and the mileage is lower than what's declared on this, make sure they check this is not the actual mileage. Have the seller check it, and then yeah, you should be good. Then the next one I'm going to talk about is check the brand of the title. The seller might be selling you a vehicle that doesn't have a Maryland title. So if it's got an out of state, so the case might be that the person is selling you a vehicle with an out of state title. So your job is to pay attention to the title, check the make, model, the mileage, the brand. The brand is what I'm going to talk about here. The brand is where it's going to state whether it's the actual mileage. Some of them will say A for actual, and if it's S, you see S on the brand, that means it's Savage. The book value is less. Some states will not put Savage here. They might not write it on the title, but if you look on the brand, it will say S. S means Savage. And if you look on they're gonna tell you the odometer codes. They're gonna tell you what they mean. Some of them will have yeah, if it's Savage, you're gonna see, will tell you, they will write all the codes, the meaning of the codes, you know. So look down, look on the title, it's gonna say odometer codes, or it will tell you brand codes, and then you see what that S mean. The S will say Savage, and then A depend on each state. But S, whenever they use S on a title, it's definitely Savage. So make sure you pay attention to the brand. The brand will tell you whether it's Savage or not. If it doesn't have S on it, it's a clean clear title. It might say actual. They might use A as the actual mileage, and then there's no brand on, you know, like it hasn't been branded. So that's for the title brand. Some states will write Savage boldly on it. So when you buy a vehicle from someone, sometimes it might not be a Maryland title, it might be an out-of-state title. So your job is to read the title on the vehicle, the title, make sure it doesn't say Savage, make sure you check the brand, make sure you check the mileage, make sure the mileage on the title here, make sure the mileage on the title, on the front of the title, is lower. Okay, let me put it. Okay, how am I getting confused here? The mileage, make sure the mileage they're declaring on the back of the title is higher than what's declared on the front of the title. If it says 178 here, you should be looking for something above 178. It must have like 200 or whatever, then it's the actual mileage. But for some reason, say for instance, it says 178 here, and then on the back of it is saying 69,000 miles. There's a problem. That's it's not the actual mileage. So make sure they check not the actual mileage on here for you when you're buying it from the seller. And that brings the book value low too. When it's not the actual mileage, you tell the person that this vehicle is not worth the original book value because the mileage has been tampered with. You'll be surprised that vehicle had like 200,000 miles and then they change the cluster and put 69,000 for you. So make sure you tell them, look, the odometer is telling me it was higher. Why is it lower now? So that brings the book value low on the vehicle. So make sure you question that. And if the mileage has been lowered or it's not the actual mileage, then you should be buying that vehicle for peanuts. You know, it's not worth that much. Why do you need a bill of sale? When you buy a vehicle, you need a bill of sale in case they sell you a stolen vehicle, in case something is wrong with that registration, or maybe something went wrong, or maybe sometimes another person will sign the title and then they'll turn around and flip the vehicle. It's a whole lot. You take that bill of sale, make sure the vehicle information is on there. If they don't die for 7 years or older, you don't have to get a notarized bill of sale, but if you notarize it, that's even better for you. So all you do is have them print their name, vehicle information, how much they're selling the vehicle to you for, and then sign. The reason why they give bill of sale too is to protect the seller as well. The seller will protect himself by putting sold the vehicle as is. So if they put sold the vehicle as is, you're on your own. If anything happens to that sale or to the vehicle that they sold to you, say for instance you bought the vehicle and then you start driving and then the car like breaks down on the way, you're on your own. That's why some of them will give you a bill of sale and they put sold as is on it. Make sure their name is printed there. Make sure the vehicle information is there. So in case you misplace the title, you take that bill of sale to MVA and explain the situation. And MVA will tell you how to go about, rectifying it if you're not able to reach the person. Usually they will make you write a certified letter to the owner on the front of the title. That's why you make sure when you're buying a vehicle, you check their license to make sure that person is the right person selling to you. Because they do have some people that will buy a car from someone. They print their name on the back of the title. They print their name here on the back of the title. Probably they went to MVA to register the vehicle and then they find out that they have an insurance violation. When that happens, they have to put that title in their name. They can't turn around and say, okay, let me sell to this person and have the person print their name here. Or once they print their name here, that title is invalid. Another individual that bought a vehicle here cannot sell to another individual here. If it was a dealer can sell to each other until they sell to an individual. But for individual, once you put that person who is selling to you, their name is already on the back of the title, do not buy that vehicle because you will not be able to register the vehicle. Have them transfer that title. Let them go get title only if they don't want to get tags. The system will allow them to get title only if there's a flag on their registration. Get title only, and then when you receive the title, that's when you make the sale. You sell it to the next person. If I buy a car from a third party, would you be able to register the vehicle? No. How do I mean by you buy a vehicle from a third party? Just like what I've just explained. When you buy a vehicle from this person has to put the vehicle in their name. That's like the person buying from the owner and then they turn around to sell it to you. There's no third party on a title if they're individuals. If it's a dealer selling, we have thought it's more than 4, 6, 7 third parties, you know, like when a dealer is selling, dealers can flip the car as many dealers as possible, but an individual, you cannot sell to another individual. The only time you sell to an individual is like the owner here selling to another individual, which is the rightful way of selling a vehicle. Once there's a name here, this person must register this vehicle. You cannot print your name here, sign and everything, and then you turn around to sell it to someone else. That person will not be able to register the vehicle. So when you bring that title to me, I will send you back to the person you purchased the vehicle from. You cannot, when you see somebody's name, make sure when you buy in the vehicle, you don't see anybody's name on the title, and there's no signature on the buyer side. If there's a signature on the buyer side, you cannot buy that vehicle because there's no place for you to put your own signature. When you see a signature here on the buyer side, that means that vehicle, that person who is selling to you, purchased the vehicle from this person. They signed here and they notice that they have some kind of flag, and probably maybe they change their mind. They now want to flip the car. If there's a signature here, that means that person selling to you has already purchased this vehicle, and they have to put in their name. They cannot print here. Make sure the buyer section is free for you to print your information. All you need to see when you buy a vehicle is the seller's signature and printed name. If there are two sellers, remember, if they have two names here, name one, name two, and then the address, that means there are two sellers. Make sure you get the co-seller's signature. Without this co-seller signature, this vehicle cannot be, you cannot register the vehicle. If you come to me, I'm gonna send you to go get the co-seller's signature. Make sure the two people sign on that title, and then let them put the price, the date of sale, the mileage. That's all they have to put for you. Make sure the rest of it is blank. Anything that says buyer, it should be blank, and the printed name of buyer should be blank, because that's where you put your information. If it's been signed, do not buy it. That means someone else has purchased this vehicle. Yeah, I think that's what is gonna, yeah, this is the end of this video. The summary of this video is, make sure you do not buy a vehicle from an individual who purchased a vehicle from another individual. Meaning, this person on this place who has already signed here is trying to sell the vehicle to you. When this place has been filled out, completed, you cannot buy that vehicle if it's not your name. When you buy a vehicle, the only way you'll be able to register that vehicle is if you only see the printed name of seller, the seller's signature, mileage, the price, date, yeah, and date, and the rest of it is blank. That's the only way you can buy the vehicle. And make sure the person that is selling to you is the owner of the vehicle, okay? And also, yes, if someone has already signed, make sure if you see a signature here, you cannot buy it. That means someone else has purchased this vehicle and they're trying to flip it. If it's a different signature and it's not your signature, no, do not purchase it. So that's all I have to say about when buying a vehicle from an individual. So when you're buying a vehicle from an individual, if they give you the Maryland safety inspection, that's good. Make sure, some of them will say the vehicle has been inspected only like they have inspected the vehicle, or maybe it's been recently inspected. The only time they can transfer that inspection is if it's within 30 days of that inspection. If the inspection is within 30 days, you can use that inspection. If it's over that, you have to go and re-inspect. So this will end this video. If you have any questions, please give me a call at 410-668-6000. Thank you.